Okay, so welcome everybody. This is our first meeting of Cryptography 2, and today we're going to be covering basically just aristocrats, which is kind of just a fancy word for like the most basic thing we can possibly do. But getting more into it, so you're going to have two instructors for this class. I'm William, so like I'm on the right side. And then Catherine's also an instructor, but she's not with us today. She will be like in future weeks though. Sometimes you might see us both, or we might be like trading off. So, if you see a different face, don't be alarmed or anything. Yeah, so I'm a senior at Mason High School. So it's my fourth year science Olympiad, and I've done Codebusters like since it was released in Division C. So 4 years. And Catherine has some experience too, 2 years of Codebusters, second year of science Olympiad. Um, you know what? Before we do this, how about we just go around and get to know each other a little bit? Yeah, Mason is the best. Definitely. Um, yeah, so if you're comfortable with unmuting, I mean, go ahead, just like say your name and maybe a hobby. I forgot to mention my hobby. I like running a lot. Yeah, but if you're not comfortable with unmuting, you could just like do it in the chat. Oh yeah, and I forgot to mention Catherine likes baking. We were gonna put two hobbies, so that's why it says hobbies, but couldn't think of another one. All right, who do we have? All right, thanks. All right, we can move on to the, oh wait, like soccer? All right, that's cool. Do you play or like just watching? Reading and math. Nice. Swimming. Okay, I'm guessing everybody who's like mentioning that stuff. Yeah, that makes sense. My favorite sport's baseball. Making codes bust. Okay, we're gonna do a lot of that. The America type. Thanks for specifying since we were talking about soccer. Okay, yeah, I think that's everyone. Thanks for chiming in. Uh, hold on. Let's do this first. So here, I just have a Google Classroom set up. So there isn't going to be all that much homework. Like nothing is graded or anything. It's just kind of practice for you to stay like brushed up on since we only do this once a week, right? Yeah, that's me. Yeah, so either I'll copy and paste that URL so it's easy for you to just click on it into the Zoom chat. Or you could just like use that code and go to Google Classroom because that's not too hard to. Okay, it's in the Zoom chat. So if you click on that and I don't know what screen it takes you, but like just press join or something and then you'll be a part of the class. I guess I'll just pause for like 30 seconds so everybody can get around to that. You know what, before we dive in, so I'm sure you guys have like seen the poll function on Zoom before, but I kind of didn't set up a questions, but I still wanted to know how are we with like Codebusters and cryptography, I guess, because I guess this is supposed to be, oops, this is supposed to be cryptography too, right? So I just want to get a good idea of our baseline before we jump in, just to make sure that like nothing is too hard or anything. So I guess if you want to put in the chat, it can just be to me or like the entire group, whatever you want to do. Like if you've ever done Codebusters in some form before, I guess just let me know like if you've ever competed or maybe like you studied for your school's tryouts or something. And if you're new to it, that's completely fine too. I just want to get a good idea. Okay. Hey, don't worry about not being that good at it. We're all, or I would say that nobody's that good at it, you know? It's a three-person team. So, or wait, can you tell me, is Div B three people too? Because I remember when it was a trial, I think it was two. Okay, cool. All right. This sounds good then. I think we all have some experience. So we can go, we can pick it up, unfortunately. All right, play nice, y'all. Oh, okay. So we have two sets of teammates here. That's cool. All right, sounds good. I think we can skip this slide then. We know like encryption and decryption. And since we all have experience, I'll make sure that the slides we do going forward are a little bit, uh, I guess more up to your level. This is just like a quick look ahead at some stuff we might cover. This was kind of a past syllabus, so it's like not exactly what we're gonna do this time, but I'm sure you're all familiar with the rules, so like you know what we have to do. I'm pretty sure Hill and RSA are not on your rules, so I'll take those out and make it more Div B oriented. And then in this class, as opposed to Cryptography 1, we're probably going to keep it more like tips and tricks, competition based, just so like it's more about efficiency rather than necessarily learning how to do the ciphers, even though, you know, we have to cover the basics in order to get to the advanced stuff. Okay, so this is types of aristocrats. So you're either going to encounter normal aristocrats where you have a bunch of gibberish, or that's the ciphertext and the spaces are in the correct spots. So if you solve it, it'll read really easily, as opposed to like a patristocrat where you kind of have to use your brain to figure out where the spaces would be. And then there are aristocrats with errors. These can either be just like literal spelling errors, like I took a test yesterday where the was spelled TEH. So like that could be a type of error that they do. Or they could use like text language like LMAO or something and just say like, I don't know, watch out for that. Or they could, like the second bullet point, just straight up use like homophones. So if you see like a word pattern that's like the same, so it's a three-letter word and then you have the same letter on the like beginning and end of it, it's probably I, like EYE, or U, like female sheep. I think that's what it is, EWE, because I and U, like the letter I and YOU are pretty common words in English, right? So I don't know, test writers think they're creative by doing like EYE and EWE, but if you ever see anything like that, you can almost have like 100% certainty that it's one of those. Uh, okay, yeah, I covered the texting language, and then Xenocrypt. I guess I'm gonna ask the same question I did about Codebusters. What is our Spanish like? Because honestly, I don't think we're gonna go too deep into this, especially if the majority of us like haven't done Spanish really. And I know like in middle school, it's really hard to, yeah, I know none. Yeah, it's really hard to have experience in middle school with the foreign language, but uh yeah, you know what? Yeah, that's true. I know a lot of schools don't even offer it. And I think some, oh, a while back. Okay. Yeah, I think some schools start in like seventh or eighth grade. So yeah, even if you do like know some, hello. Yeah, exactly. Okay. Yeah, we won't go too deep into it then. It's good to know. Okay, so for normal aristocrats, I'm going to cover the strategies and then we can do a bunch of examples together. I don't have too many examples on this slide, but we can get some online, so that'll be fine. So your first like friend when solving aristocrats is going to be frequency analysis. Like we have this frequency table at the bottom where like the top row is the ciphertext, and then the numbers below is like how many times that ciphertext letter appears in here. So then you can just see for yourself like what's common, what's not, and then compare that to the most frequent letters in English, which that's the like rough order of it. And then there are some common word patterns that you can have, like I said before, like almost 100% certainty. So like there are like other words that have that pattern, every, right? Like with the first and the third letter being the same in a 5-letter word, like again or something, or aware. But first of all, those words aren't as common, like they aren't as commonly used in English. And second of all, you can like combine frequency analysis and word patterns, right? So we know that E is the most common letter in English. So if you have, an aristocrat that you're solving, and then you have a 5-letter word, first and third are the same. Uh, like if you see that the first and third letter are like the most common in that particular aristocrat, you can be pretty confident that that word is every, because you're combining frequency analysis and word patterns. And then word frequencies, I probably don't use this that much. It's just the idea that if you have a 3-letter word, there's more probability that it's going to be something like the or who or one or are, like something common and not too specific, versus like bat, like when are you going to see a specific word like that, really? Yeah, so just making things really easy, you probably want to look for 1-letter words first, because those can only be a or I, or in some cases, if it's like a quote from Shakespeare, it can be like o, but that doesn't really happen. Then contractions, those will help you because they really eliminate the possibilities of what letters can go after the apostrophe and before, to an extent. And then I'll post this to the Google Classroom after our class, but I have this doc of a lot of word patterns. So yeah, you can see like on the actual doc itself, I put the most common like versions of the word patterns. And then like on the comments, I might put like a substitute word pattern that might happen, but you won't see it as often. All right, but you can take a look at that later. That will definitely be a good resource when we're first learning to get like a little more efficient at solving these though. Okay. Yeah, you know what? We can just do this one together first. So type in the chat, or I guess you can just call it out too, how you would want to start this. Like you can just say like n equals like whatever letter or something. Okay, yeah, I think everything you guys just said is right. So I'll fill those in. Yeah, nice. You got that right away. Okay, you know what? I think after this example, we can start moving on to some harder stuff, because it seems like we're getting it pretty quickly. Okay, so hold on. Better, yeah. And I guess this is kind of like a test taking tip. When I get a letter to start something, I usually don't think about the rest of it too hard, because some like a pitfall that you can kind of fall into during a test is that you get confused because you're solving so many letters at once that you like forget which ones you haven't filled in yet. So I like to just focus on a letter and then fill it in every time I see it in a cipher, so I know I'm completely done with it, right? Okay, I'll point out what this word pattern is later, and then this is also a recognizable one. I'll probably also point out this one. Second word could be think. Yeah, that's what I was going to go for. So when you have a 1-letter word and then a 5-letter word right after it, especially at the beginning of a sentence, it's probably I think, because you can see that this K placement matches up with the I placement, right? Yeah, nice job. Hold on. So now I'm just going to be filling in T's, like I mentioned before. Hold on, I've got to minimize this. Yeah, and I think somebody said that this was better, so nice. Third word could be football. Yeah, I think it is. So the reason I like highlighted that word is because when you have this double letter placement and like the double letters to end the word, it's usually like here, I'm going to correct what I said. If you have double letters to end a word and you know that the vowel before those double letters is an A, it's probably some kind of sport. Because if you think about it, a lot of sports end with ball, right? So like baseball, football, basketball. So if you see that ball ending, you kind of know that it has to be a sport. Hold on, it's hard to see this in the chat at the same time. Yeah, could, wait, LR. Yeah, so I think we have both could and would in this quote, because if we look at these four letters in the 5-letter words, they're the same, right? So one of these, like this or this, is could and the other is would. But we just have to like see which one it is, I guess. I will fill in the OULDs though. Oh, my calibration on this thing is messed up, so I'm gonna plug it back in. Call, yeah, I'll take your word for it. I honestly can't see a lot of the cipher right now just because I have it set up. Become, yeah. So then that means that this one is could because it has that L. So we know that this one by process of elimination has to be would. Okay, yeah, thanks. That's ball. Yeah, someone. That's the one I was going to cover. So if you have, honestly, this one might be harder to see than most word patterns, but if you have this, so the last letter in this 7-letter word matches up with the 4th letter, and then you kind of have this 5th letter and 2nd letter matchup, it's probably someone. I say it with like number placements like 2nd and 5th in order to just like describe it. I don't think about it like that though. It's kind of like you just look at it and I guess how close the letters are together makes sense more in your brain rather than like counting, because I guess if you count, it would probably be very hard to see. Like it would just get unnecessarily complicated probably. Okay. Someone could invent a ball that kicks back. Okay, yeah, thanks. That's kind of violent. Okay, so in this case, they mean football, like European football. What other quiz are you talking about? I have seen this quote before though. Let me see what else we have to gauge your level. Oh, yeah, I think I think Sahej might have used this one because I had it ready and he asked for some. You know what? Yeah, it's all good. You might see some other stuff down the line too. Um, Here we're gonna do this one and then we're gonna jump into more advanced stuff. Yeah, it is nice word pattern. Before I fill other stuff in, I'm just going to look into the rest of the cipher to see if there's any like advanced stuff I could show you. Oh, okay. Oh, wait, is someone in here too? I don't think that's someone because the O placement doesn't quite match up. You know what I mean? Yeah, but nice job though. Looking for that. Yeah, the contraction does have to be there. It's nice. So what I'm just going to point out for a second is what does this word have to be? And exactly, yeah. So usually after, if you have a comma and then you have a 3-letter word after it, it's probably going to be some sort of like conjunction like and or but. usually it is like one of those two, like and or but. But the way you want to confirm here is you can confirm with letter frequencies because like A is really common, whereas B isn't. Also here, it can't be but because this is a B. But also you have this one letter word here, right? So you know that this has to be A or I, so that can let you confirm that this is and. Okay, you guys mentioned a lot of stuff, so I'm just gonna try and fill out from memory. It is, always. Yeah, where is that? There's always, okay. This is probably bad, right? It's not like rad or anything. Oh, also, if you have another three-letter word starting with A and you already used and, it's probably R. Like even if we didn't have R and E already, we could probably just say that this was R because three-letter words starting with A, you're either going to run into and, any, or R. And like there's some uncommon stuff, right? But those are the three most common ones that you're going to run into. So you can kind of just use process of elimination to pick one or the other. Oops. Do we already fill in N? I mean, it's very probable that this is on, but be careful when you make guesses like that because it might not be. It definitely is in this case, but so I think we just got P as N, right? So what is this word? Be careful. Yeah, it's when in this case because we already used T, right? So just be careful about that. And then this word and this word are the same. Uh, okay, this might be really hard to see, but can anybody possibly guess what this is? Do I have anything I can help with? Okay, I can put an L here if that makes it easier.
You can also put as F as O.
Oh, F is O? Yep. Okay, thanks. Powerful. Yeah, nice. So I guess the WE in the middle of the word, that rarely happens. So that could be like an indicator. Oh, also, how does this word probably end? If we have ON, what comes? Yeah, nice. Thanks. You guys are getting this right away. We did have T already though, but and I guess, but it's whatever. J, yeah. So if we have C, don't look in the rest of the cipher. What are these two? I just want to see if you can complete the pattern, not like, yeah, reaction. I know we had those two letters already, but sometimes it's just helpful to kind of look at them yourselves and build that, I guess, kind of muscle memory. Is there anybody that can see this one? I'm going to try not to fill in what we have from now on because I just want to see if we can get used to having a lot of blank spaces, but filling them in just based on kind of guesses, but they're not exactly guesses, you know? I can put a hint down. Oh, wait. Yeah, so it did look like answers to me too, actually, but the S placement is slightly messed up. Yeah. Yeah, don't worry about that though, because that's what it looked like to me too. But it goes in line with powerful because well, I guess when somebody is powerful, they can be this type of person.
Abusers.
Yeah, thanks. Roll. Where is that? Oh, it is okay. Okay, so if we have roll, then this has to be of, right? Yeah, in order for it to just make sense in English. And we already have the F. Uh,
But Y for V might be good.
yeah, that makes sense. Okay, what is this word? Probably take. Yeah, all right. We can just fill this in. And then we have this word left. We know it probably ends in here. Oh, okay. Here. I kind of don't want to fill this in just to keep building that habit, but I might fill in this. Uh, That that might look a little weird. Oh, wait, nice pattern recognition. So it's not journalist, it's journalism, actually. Yeah, but nice job getting that from like basically nothing. So it is the role of good journalism to take on powerful abusers, and when powerful abusers are taken on, there's always a bad reaction. Okay, so let me see what I have lined up in the rest of the slides, and then we can figure out how we want to spend the rest of our time. It's probably a good idea to do one with errors together. Yeah, so like I covered, look out for that ABA pattern because like that's usually the key to getting these really fast if they're in there. Okay, so where should I look first?
HCH is probably I.
Uh, Good guess. I'm only going to put in the E's for now because we technically don't know if it's I or you, right? So just to be safe. I think, hold on, let me look at the chat. I can't see that. Yeah, exactly. They do whatever they want. I think if any of you have had a class with me before, I feel like you might recognize this. Sh is B. Okay. I'm just going to be really honest. This is like way too full of errors. So like almost nothing here is an actual word. So be careful. It's not B in this case, but that is a good guess. It's something, it's pretty weird.
Could SBW?
Could S be W? Let's see. Oh, we? That's also another good guess, but the reason I wouldn't do that is because it ends a sentence, right? And it's hard for like the word we, like WE, to end a sentence. So I would probably stray away from that. Uh, let's see. Oh, hold on. Yeah, like it could be me, right? But honestly, this is poorly written. Like I wrote this and then I realized afterwards that it's too full of errors. I'm just trying to find a like safe way to solve this though, because I remember the answer, but oh yeah, also we're spending a lot of time on getting what S is right, but we need to keep in mind that it only happens once, so it doesn't help us get the rest of the cipher. Um, yeah, that actually is the answer, but I I don't know. It doesn't really, like I said, it doesn't really help us. I'm just trying to, you know what? Let's just see whether we can deduce whether this is Y or W, right? Because yeah, don't worry about the Z thing right now. It's like inconsequential in the long term. What song is this? If I tell you, you'll get the entire thing right away. It is not German, no. Two-letter words don't end in W. Nice. So we can probably say that this is I. I equals M. Yeah, that's a good guess. It could be by, but you know, even if it is by, like we would, when we fill in the rest of the M's, like we would just see that it's wrong. CTA is U. Yeah, that's where I would have gone. Nice job. T, any T's. F is A. It is A. Mao? Wait, where are you? Oh, May. That, you know, that would be a really good guess if this question was a good one, but it's not. I guess I know I keep saying like I wrote this kind of badly, but it is good to keep in mind that test writers aren't necessarily going to be the nicest. So you want to always be careful, especially with aristocrats with errors. Like it's really hard to get long word patterns with aristocrats with errors because you might just like fall into all kinds of pitfalls. Yeah, I would say that it's pretty safe to say that this is and because we have the comma here. I don't know about reach. That's kind of, wait, where is that? Oh, here. Yeah, it would be a decent guess for non-aristocrats with theirs, but I will tell you that this is a homophone for the word that it's actually supposed to be. Beach? It is not beach. Can we see what this word is? Numb. Yeah. Once again, like not a word you would really ever see in a quote unless it has errors. Body. My numb body? Okay, no, it's not that because we already used O and Y. Oh, okay. This is actually a legit word pattern to see here. It is not bull. Good guess though. Try looking here because this BZ thing is helpful in aristocrats without errors as well. It comes up pretty often. This is, yeah, nice. Yeah, it is but. It's like misspelled for BUT though, not like actual but. Is there anything I haven't filled in that I have? Oh, okay. I don't think I can fill anything else in right now. So it's just up to us to read the quote as a whole and see if we're reminded of anything. It is not Taylor Swift. I guess if it's from 2012, it would be from Red, right? If it was Taylor Swift, but it's not a song from Red, sadly.
KBJ. I just met you.
Yeah. Yeah, Irene got it. Okay, so if we know what song it is from now, well, what's the rest of this? And this is, yeah, so this is cray, like crayon, I guess. And then, yeah, but here's my, what is this word? Bird, yeah. Hold on, did somebody say what this was? Because it kind of just like disappeared in the chat for me. Oh, well, we know this word, I guess, but
RC.
Wait, what is Q again? Oh, I know what it is now. Can somebody, it can't be SOAH because we used H, right? Soap is a really good guess, but there's something is like slightly better because it sounds slightly better. Like it doesn't interfere with the call sound. Because if I said soap, call me maybe, you can hear the P, right? But if I say something else, you can't necessarily hear it. W is also a pretty good guess, but that's not the lines I'm going on though. Okay, we're getting some pretty crazy guesses. Here, it has a similar sound to C.
Okay.
Yeah, K. So it's like supposed to be so call me maybe. All right. That's like basically as bad as it can get. So since we solved this, we'll be good for future Aristocrats with errors. In order to get more like advanced stuff in, let's not do that. Let's not do that either, since we don't have that much Spanish experience. Yeah, Codebusters tests, don't focus on the reality of them, because if you do, it's hard to get over it. Let's just go online, because I feel like we can get the best practice here probably, and then I'll have some better examples ready for next time. Okay, before anybody says anything in the chat, like don't say anything right now. Uh, let's see. I'm gonna ask a question about this. Okay, private message me. Don't say to the entire group. What letter is Z? All right, nice. Yeah, I have one right answer so far. All right, all good guesses so far. I'll just point out why it's easy to fall into kind of a trap though. Okay, you know what? I'm gonna go ahead and show this one. So I guess my goal with this class is just to be able to see things that you couldn't necessarily do before, and just make educated guesses based off of not that much. Because in cryptography 1, we were just talking about like let's fill in the or like A or I or something, but I want to take it a step past that. Here, Z is O. And the reason why it's not E is because it begins this 2-letter word, right? Or the reason I narrowed it down to O and E in the first place is because it's doubled inside this 4-letter word. So anytime you have a letter, two of the same letters, and then a letter that makes up a 4-letter word, it's probably going to be O or E. So then your mission just becomes like, which of those can I eliminate? And I eliminated E because Z, like ciphertext Z, begins this 2-letter word. Okay, if I have the in this quote, which I'm not saying there is the, what 3 letters is it?
GPI.
Okay, yeah, thanks. Um, something that might throw you off is if I do this, there's a T in the middle of this word, right? Which usually that can't happen in the middle of a 3-letter word. But what's like the one case that it can? Yeah, exactly. And the reason or like how you could confirm that, because like if we were solving on like Tobes or Olympiad or something, it wouldn't just like automatically fill in. Because like if we look at this overall, it looks right. Like we know we didn't make any mistakes. But if we didn't have all the other stuff filled in, the way we can confirm that it's is correct here is because we have it here. Uh yeah, people's also in this. Nice. Uh I don't think teachers is in here, but this is teacher, like singular. Okay, before don't say anything yet. What is the second word? Like what is that long word? Government. Yeah, nice. Government is actually like a word that you will see a weird amount in quotes. Like it's weird how much it pops up because you would think it's kind of a specific word, but I guess a lot of quotes are like about that topic. Okay, and then the rest is just filling in. All right. Let's try something similar. Okay, don't say anything yet. Okay, can we get this word? Private message me. Nice. All right, we have one correct answer. I think it might be a little bit of a stretch, maybe for our first day. So I'll ask, what is A? Because that can help us get that entire word. Yeah, yeah. A in this case is like almost definitely E because 12 is just like so much higher than the rest of the numbers we have, right? So E is like just that much more common. And if you look at the placements in words, we have that thing where a four-letter word like E comes in the middle two spots again. And also E ends a lot of words in English. So if you have, in this case, ciphertext A ends a lot of words, then it's pretty safe to say that A is E. Also because it's like that much more common. We did have a right answer for this word. I think, I don't know. This is also a pattern that we might be able to see given time, but I think I'll fill in this. So this was little. And the reason that you can get that is that you have this, first of all, like the repeated T's in the middle, and then you also have this L placement in the first and fifth spots. But like, I think that should be on the Google Doc that I'm going to send out because it's one of those things that happens, every so often. So it's nice to know. But definitely like don't feel bad or anything if you couldn't see it right now because it's kind of like not as common as some other word patterns. Can we see potentially what this word is? Nice. You're getting these right away. Z is O. Yeah, nice. Since we have T starting a two-letter word and we know that has to be O. Uh, nice guess, but it's actually not believe because the whole like I before E except after C thing. I guess this means this has to be C, right? In this case, it's deceive. Because okay, I'm just gonna fill this word in because somebody mentioned it. So in this case, you're doing something to yourself, right? Or like them is doing something to themselves. So you can't really receive yourself. So in this case, it's deceive. Yeah, children, nice, have. Unlike, yeah. And can we get this one? Grown-ups, nice. Yeah, so if we had trouble there, I would have just mentioned like it says unlike grown-ups, right? So we know that it has to contrast with children, so it has to be like along the lines of adults among us. Yeah, I don't think you'll see much of that in ciphers. Okay, don't do anything yet. What is KCL? a little earlier, I mentioned that there are two choices, right? So just keep in mind, how did we differentiate between those two choices? Yeah, it's but. So be careful because like it's really easy to be like, oh, three-letter word, it's probably and, but look at how like uncommon K and C are. So it probably lines up with but because L is also like extremely common, right? And then we have T starting a two-letter word. So this is O. It is. Yeah, that makes sense. Okay, before we do more, let's, okay. I see two things we could do. So what is M? What letter is M probably? Yeah, yeah. I'm just gonna wait for one more person to try and guess at it though. Yeah, nice. So the reason that, we can be, okay, yeah, it's discovered. I'll just, actually, I won't fill that in because I want us to maybe try this word pattern. Uh, so I'll fill in the D though. Oh yeah, I mean discounted could be viable too, but watch out for these repeating A's. Yeah. Um, the reason that D goes there is because it is, and then it has to be like past tense, so that's why the word ends in D. Let's try this word pattern if anybody might be able to see. I mean, it's not exactly a word pattern because nothing repeats in it. Or like, you know what? Let's skip it. I think, yeah, not that one for now. What does O have to be? Yeah, nice. Because like whatever this word is, like if you have an I at the beginning, Gove is only. Yep, that makes sense. What two-letter word does this have to be?
That's F. So which means the word before that is infinity.
It's not infinity actually. Or is that what you said?
Yeah.
Okay, it's not that. I honestly, yeah, the spaces don't make it possible, but I don't know. That word looks kind of weird to me. Okay, you know what? We know that this is A, so we can just fill that in. Can anybody see this word pattern possibly? It might be helpful to see that the U repeats and the J also repeats. And I know I'm focusing a lot on word patterns here. Like you definitely wouldn't solve it this way. Like you would do the easy stuff first, but this is just like to get us used to being able to make guesses in situations where we don't have that much to go off of. And it also helps us just like solve faster. Uh, would it help if I put this here? Character. Yeah, nice. Okay, I'll just fill in the rest. Oh, okay. No, that is the word I thought it was, but for some reason I thought judgment had another E in it. Okay, no, I'm tripping. All right. So now since I covered the fact that like we're not gonna actually solve this way, right? I'll just solve something and then I'll go over like how I actually solved it. Oh, what? This is weird. Okay, so here, let me go back. If I have the record, how did I get it again? Wait, what? Do you mean get it again like I got the cipher again or I got the record again? Oh, the cipher again? I don't know. It just gives you stuff. Okay, so here what I did, I think I did this first. So I realized this had to be is just because the I placement. What I should have done probably is realize after, or no, I did do this. So I said that this was is, and then I realized that this word and this word are the same, right? I realized that this had to be TION because of the I coming in third to last place. And all of these last four letters are decently common, which Yeah, exactly. Imagination. In English, like if you have a really long word and the last four letters are all different and pretty common, it's probably TION because all of those are decently common. So after I did that, I realized this was a three-letter word with T at the beginning. Middle is not that common, and third is pretty common, so it's probably the. And then I went here and I saw knowledge, which, you know, I might usually just go and fill in this A because that has to be than and not then because we already used the E. But I went here instead because, like we were just emphasizing, sometimes it's helpful to just see word patterns instead of go for the single letters. So after I filled in knowledge, uh, I don't know. I think I just finished it. Okay. I guess I'll do one more and we can start wrapping up. Okay. I thought that was football for a second, but it's not. What is this? Wait. Try VY is it. To change it. You know what? Let's skip this one. Let's forget that existed. Man, why is it only giving me weird ones? And then genius of what? Okay. I guess I'll cover this one. So I knew that this probably wasn't I and it was A instead because of the placement in this 5-letter word. Usually if it comes in the fourth spot, this isn't something I'm saying you should memorize. It's just like kind of a feel thing. It's probably A. And then here, like it ended up being a human being, right? That's kind of like hard to see though. I feel like what I did, I went here and I realized it had to be N because it's not going to start with at. And then if it starts with an, then this first letter of the next word has to be a vowel. And then I realized it's probably I because more words start with IN than like other vowel and N. And then I feel like I filled in ingenious just based on word pattern. And also, I don't know if you guys have realized this, but ingenious is kind of hard to see because genius is spelled without an O, right? But ingenious has an O in it. I guess so just watch out for that. And then I guess there wasn't that much. You know what? I'm gonna go for something that's a little bit better than that because that one was kind of bad. What? Oh, corn. I thought it was mourn like morning. So if I go back, this is A because after the comma, we have a 3-letter word. So it's probably and in this case, it's not but because we have that 1-letter word. And then I realized we had this 3-letter word that's, this letter and then 2 repeated letters. So it's probably all because like we already figured out that that was A. So here, what I did next, I realized this word started with NA. So then the next part is probably nature. Uh, and you can see like how usually I begin with an easy thing, like getting a single letter, but in I guess like the mid stage, like if you play chess, I guess it's like comparable to like the middle game or something. That's when like the word patterns based on like a few hints that you have kind of kick in. So here I got nature, and then I realized this was laughed. And then here it's just kind of filling in. And then I messed up and I said mourn because sometimes in like old books, mourn is substituted for morning. But then I realized it was corn because nature. So it's talking about like a farm or something. Um, yeah. So this week, I don't think we need all that much homework. So I won't post any homework this week, but I will post some resources for us. Yeah, I guess no real homework, but what you should probably do between now and next week is just go on that website that I was just on. So it's like cryptograms.org. Do a little bit on there. And then does anybody have a competition coming up? I just want to see like how I should structure my preparation to help you guys. What's up? You don't have to raise your hand. You can just talk.
Me and Drew just had one yesterday, and I'm having chemist test next week, and Drew's having UC Davis.
All right. Oh yeah, I heard UC Davis. Is that still in person? Do you know how it worked out?
No, it's like satellite, I think.
Oh, that's too bad. All right. Uh oh yeah, I heard about that, Cody. Yeah, so good luck at those. Like I said, no real homework. Just make sure you stay brushed up, and then next week we'll get into, I think it was like Caesar and Apbash. Those are pretty easy, but we'll talk about how to just solve them like aristocrats instead. And make everything a little bit more logical instead of like bashy. All right. Thanks everybody for coming today, and I'll see you next week.